it's really funny because when I was in Brazil, I was really at a low point because I was like, okay, I took the big step, but I don't like Brazil. What do I need to do now? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna write down my manifestations. What do I want? What is my dream job? What is my dream? Like, what is my dream? And I already knew this guy for a year, and we were together again, and I was like, oh God, I think I manifested this, and this is really happening. And I really can say that with the techniques I used and tapping in on a new frequency and on another level, another dimension, I just manifested it into my life.
Yeah.
And that was like the really switch for me, like, okay, I need to learn other people or help other people how to do that as well, because it's not that hard.
What's up, guys? Today we decided to make a podcast or record a podcast together, and I am sitting here next to amazing friend that I met on an event, and her name is Eva. She's also an EFT coach, and she's also coaching people, but in her own way, in her more spiritual and more, how would you like to call it?
I think I would call it like the spiritual way connected with the real world. So I'm not really like out of this world with only spiritual things.
Yeah.
But I would connect them together.
Awesome. And by the way, my name is Alperen for the viewers for her side. I am also coaching young adults who are on self-improvement. And for example, I am also going to the direction of quantum timeline jumping and direction of more the getting out of the masculine parts of the human society, let's say, and bring them more into this world and taking more ownership of your life. And we decided to record a podcast together, and
Now we're here.
Right? So the coaching part, right? What did you experience for your side? Why did you start with the coaching? Like, what inspired you to take the action to go to it?
I had a lot of coachings myself. I started with a children's psychologist quite early. And I liked it. It helped me a lot, and I really needed it. And later on, I was going into horse therapy. I also really like that. I'm really a horse person, so that was really nice for me. And then I did a normal psychologist, but I felt like I was missing something in the coachings and the programs that they did. Like, they were always talking, and from like a little child, I always learned to talk a lot. So that was not really an issue for me, but it was really the feeling. I felt a lot of things like very deeply, and I didn't really understand why people were only talking and not seeing what was truly behind only the speaking, because I can speak really well, but I didn't really could go on with my emotions like I did at that moment. So then I started with energy healing, and that was like a really mind-blowing thing for me. I saw a lot of new things, and it inspired me a lot, and I was like, oh my God, a lot of people need to know about this. But when I started teaching people about it, they were like, that's really spiritual. I don't really like it that way, and it sounds a little bit messy, and I don't want to be involved with that. So I was like, yeah, but it's not like that, and I'm not really a spiritual person, so I need to make a connection with like the normal world and the spiritual world. And that's when I decided that I needed to change something for this world, and that I needed to change the coaching programs that were coming in there. So now I'm using Reiki, EFT, and just normal talking coaching to help other people.
And that's exactly like, did you also notice that young adults and also the new generation, let's say the millennials around us, they are starting to wake up and they are starting to become more conscious?
Yeah.
Did you notice that's like there's a big shift happening in this world?
Yeah, I also think sometimes it's a hype.
Yeah, also.
With a couple of things, like people are like, oh, I'm spiritual. Now it's really cool to be spiritual, and I'm like, I think you really need to feel that you're spiritual and not say. You need to do it and like really connect with yourself. But I see that there's a big shift going on, and also a lot of new age children are born at this moment. So that's really beautiful. I think that's really good for this world.
That's crazy how that works. This new generation starting to think differently. Mostly, like they starting to realize that, like, oh yeah, there's the things that is programmed within me is not my real identity. It is the
Yes.
part of me that's like programmed to be in a certain way to fit in this culture, instead of being your own authentic self, right?
Yeah.
And that also, I saw that in my own developing journey, that I say, okay, I don't want to just earn money. My parents, they were just like in this mentality, like you gotta earn enough money, you gotta create stability. But there was something in me that just said, you know, I have an electrical degree. In the Netherlands, you can earn enough money with an electrical degree,
Yes.
for making house installations and whatnot. But I got a car from the job that I had, right? And I can drive everywhere where I wanted to, and it was an awesome salary. But I missed the one part that I had all this time. And my parents, after a while, I just said fuck it, and I just went to clothing store selling clothes. And
Nice.
now I'm still working there part time and building my own business. But I made the, let's say, the hard decision to live very, let's say, on budget. A crazy budget. But I felt that there was something calling me. I didn't know, I couldn't explain it, and my parents were saying like, you're crazy for doing this. But something in me that said, okay, I need to go this path, I need to follow this path. Something in me says that I need to follow it. And now that I'm following for, like, let's say 2 years now, I see drastic changes, I see amazing things. But you have to make that like leap of faith. Did you experience that stuff as well in your life?
Absolutely. When I was 19, I was studying physical therapy for 2 years. And obviously, I wanted to help people because otherwise, you're not going to be a physical therapist. But I was like, okay, this is way too medical for me. And you're not seeing the emotions behind the people.
Yeah.
And it's just like really, you're working in a box. Like literally, you're in a really small room and you need to help people. And then I was like, okay, I need to get out of like the normal way of living, like studying, working, partying, things like that. So then I decided, okay, I want a gap year, but I want to do something with my gap year, not something normal. I want to do something crazy. So I was 19 and I flew to the other side of the world, to
Yeah.
Mexico, on my own, and I was freaking scared. But I think that completely changed my view of life and the way I wanted to live. And I saw that people in Mexico, like, the most people think that people in Mexico are not earning a lot, and a lot of people don't earn a lot. A lot of people earn way too much. Like, it's
Mm.
insane how much they earn. But they were all happy. Like, okay, obviously not all the people in Mexico are happy, but the people that had less and
Yeah.
they just had their families and they just had the beach. Like, literally, the beach and the sun are like a big plus of Mexico. They were just happy with their being and they didn't need like all the designer things and all that kind of stuff. It was not about the money, it was about the experience. And for 3 months, I traveled through Central America. I did Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica.
Sheesh, that's a mouthful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And it was insane. It had the most beautiful experiences. And I met amazing people and also people that were like, yeah, way older than me. Like, they were in their late 30s. And they were just like, oh, yeah, I just like to travel. And sometimes I just work a job that I don't really like, but I'm okay with it. And then I travel further. And I already do this for 5 years. And I was like, we don't need a house. We don't need a place to live in or like all our own stuff. Just a backpack and my laptop, obviously, because I
Mm.
need to work for my laptop. But other than that, we don't need it. We
Mm.
just want it and we are used to it. But it's not a need in this moment.
No.
It's just a luxurious product that, yeah, can make life comfortable. But for me, it's not making my life comfortable. I gave up my rent when I'm come back from my first trip. I rented a new place in the center of Breda because I was like, okay, I travel now and I have new insights, and I think, oh, I'm gonna start a new life. But then I was going to work another job, also in a clothing store, and the people were lovely. Like, I love my colleagues, and I still really like them. They're beautiful people. But every day I was going to work, and I came back home, and I was cooking, and then I was sleeping, and like going on and on and on. I was like, I'm 20. What am I doing? Like, I had an amazing experience, and I just came back and I'm just in my old life again. Like, everyone is partying, so should I party again? I don't like drinking anymore. I don't drink. So partying sober can be nice, but not the places where all my friends were going. I was like, yeah, I feel a little bit odd here. This is not my place anymore. So for the second time, I gave up my rent. I left everything behind. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Brazil this time and fly again to the other side of the world.
I remember.
Yeah.
By the way, the microphone is linear, so like the microphone should be pointing at your mouth. It's better to understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, a little bit like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Should be pointing directly at the mouth.
Als je me nou niet gehoord heeft, hè?
No, yeah.
Okay.
It hurt you, but like a little bit lower than my voice. So if you point more on your mouth, then. But yeah. Anyway, in Brazil.
Then I flew to Brazil, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna work on my business on this trip, so I'm not gonna go from place to place to place, but I'm gonna stay longer at one place, and I'm gonna build my business. I already had my coaching program, and my first coaches I also had, like 3 coaches I had. I did my first coachings for free because I wanted to try it out and see, like, okay, do people like my coaching? Do they don't like it? What do they think about it? And then I came into Brazil, and Brazil was crazy. Brazil is insane. I love Brazil, but it was way too much for me because, one, I don't speak Portuguese and they don't speak English, so that was quite hard.
Ooh.
So it was quite hard to get around. It was 50 degrees Celsius. That's insanely hot. I like hot weather, but this was insane. And I was like, okay, I'm a week in Rio now, and I think I want to go back to Mexico. I just really like Mexico in that way. And in 1 week, I flew back to Mexico, and I was building my business in Mexico, and that's freaking insane.
And I know this about your story. You met your new boyfriend in Mexico, and a lot of amazing things happened when I remember when we met in the event. You were like in this how would you call it, in this loop of, I don't know where I want to go. I'm making a big decision, and after you came back from the event, and then you went to Mexico, we were still contacting each other via the WhatsApp and Zoom, and I saw amazing shift. And I told you this before. You were just like changed 100 degrees, right? Like you were so happy, and I'm just talking about, it's going amazing. I met this guy, and it's all going great. And the videos that you were making, that was so high quality and so amazing. So yeah, that was awesome to see that. Yeah.
I think that second trip to Mexico really changed my life in a bit.
Yeah.
My boyfriend, I already met him on my first trip, so I already knew him for a year. And then I came back to Mexico, and first I was on the other part of Mexico. Mexico is really big. You need to take like 4-hour flight to go to the other side of Mexico. So I was like on a totally different side from where he was. But I was spending my time in Sayulita. Big recommendation, go to Sayulita. Sayulita. Yeah, it's really nice. And I spent 3 weeks there, met amazing people. Like, it was crazy, and we had like our little co-working community, and we were all like engaging with each other and surfing. I can't surf, but they were surfing. I was supporting from the side. That was really nice to see.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Literally like that.
Also surfing.
Yeah. No. And then I decided to flew back to the other side of Mexico because I didn't see Tulum on my first trip, and Isla Mujeres, and like a couple of other places I really want to see them. And I texted my now boyfriend, like, hey, I'm coming to the other side of Mexico again. If you want to meet up, he's living in Cancun. I'm gonna be in Cancun on the Friday evening, so we can go for dinner or something and like just meet up and catch up with just a nice talk. And he was like, do you think you are having like any plans for the weekend? I was like, no, not really, but I want to go there. And he was like, yeah, you don't have to plan anything. I'm just gonna take you on a date, and we're gonna see. I'm just gonna show you around in my area if you want to. And I was like, yeah, why not? I'm only living once.
Yeah,
I don't have plans anyway. So then I went on this amazing weekend with him, and I think this was like a really big shift for me because when I was younger and before, I was really maybe searching for someone that was really compatible with me and I could really be myself with in a partner. Like, I had friends, but I really wanted a partner. And obviously when you're searching for something, mostly you're not gonna find it. I learned it the hard way. But it's really funny because when I was in Brazil, I was really at a low point because I was like, okay, I took the big step, but I don't like Brazil. What do I need to do now? And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna write down my manifestations. What do I want? What is my dream job? What is my dream? Like, what is my dream? Literally, what is my dream? And I also wrote down my dream partner. What is my dream partner? What does he need to have to be with me? What do I think I really need in my life? And I wrote everything down. Normally, I would say like, okay, I don't really care about this, so it doesn't matter. I would skip it, or if a person doesn't have it, it's okay. Like, everyone is different. But now I was like, okay, the next guy, he needs to tick all the boxes. It just needs you. And I already knew this guy for a year, and we were together again, and I was like, oh God, I think I manifested this. Oof, and this is really happening. And I really can say that with the techniques I used and tapping in on a new frequency and on another level, another dimension, I just manifested that into my life. And that was like the really switch for me, like, okay, I need to learn other people or help other people how to do that as well, because it's not that hard. Like, the first time it's really hard. You're like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? And this is so insanely crazy and things like that. But the second time you're like, okay, but I did this the last time. I'm just gonna tune in on my feelings and on my higher self, and it's gonna be way easier.
And how did you like, there's a lot of young adults who are saying, oh, that's too big. They have all of these limiting beliefs, right? When I go to Brazil, what am I gonna do there? You know, what's in it for me, and how I'm gonna, if I want to try the same as you, right? I feel that I have to go for I don't know, let's say I want to travel to Japan, let's say. And I feel like there's something there, but they don't know how to make that first step. What caused you to take that step to finally make the decision? Okay, I am working at this clothing store, but I really want to experience life, so I'm going to Brazil. What made that step?
Just book the ticket.
You just brain off and just make the step.
Yes. In 5 days, I decided that I was going to book the ticket. That's a little bit short, of course, the answer. But that's the short answer of it. Just book the ticket and do it. My mindset is always, you only live once. Like, a lot of people are thinking like that, but a lot of people are not living to that thought. And when you feel sad or when you're feeling depressed, that's a sign that you need to do something different in your life. Yeah. You can try and try and try and try, and it's really good to have to be determined to your destination. But if it's not working, it's not working. The universe is giving you signs why it's not working. And that was for me in the Netherlands. I was like, okay, I'm born in the Netherlands, so I should be happy in the Netherlands. That's not how it works. That's not how the universe is going to say, oh yeah, you think like that? It's going to be like that. Be happy in the Netherlands. It's fine. No. And I don't hate the Netherlands. Obviously not. But I know this is not the place where I'm going to live forever. And that's okay. And when I tuned in on my higher self, I was like, okay, I know this. I know that I'm not going to be here forever. So why not explore the world? I don't have to be away for months if I don't want to. Like, I bought a one-way ticket to Brazil. And always what I say to myself is, okay, when I'm going somewhere, I'm going to be there for at least 2 weeks. And then I'm going to see if I still feel like shit, I'm going to go home. But mostly after 2 weeks, I'm not homesick anymore. I'm more adjusted to like the way of living, and everything is different. Like, it's a really big step to take. But when you're there for 2 weeks, then you're going to see the beautiful people, the beautiful places, and all the amazing things you're going to do. Yeah. So just challenge yourself. And even when you want to go maybe on your first solo trip, because I would recommend everyone doing a solo trip just to be like completely on yourself and learn more about yourself, just book a small one. Just go on a city trip by yourself and book a hostel. Obviously book a hostel, because then you're not alone, because everyone in the hostel is traveling alone. Like 90% of the travelers in hostels are alone, and nobody wants to be alone. So just take the big step, walk to a group that you don't know and like, hey, can I maybe join you guys? It's not that big, because when someone would walk up to you like, hey, I saw you talking, is it okay if I join? Would you say no? Obviously not. At least I wouldn't do that.
And most of the time they are like almost your age, right?
Yeah.
They are almost like like-minded people also.
Age is maybe different. Age and traveling is not the same as age and your home city. Because when I'm traveling, I traveled with people from 36-year-olds. So that's quite a big difference, like maybe 15 years, 10 years, 15, 15. But it doesn't feel like that way, because you're out of your environment. Here in the Netherlands, it's a really big thing. Also in other places of the world, if you're living in the United States or things like that. it's a really big thing your age, because you went to school with people from your age and you're working sometimes not with people from your age, but like you're starting down and then going up and up with age and like the positions you get. But that's not a thing in traveling, because everyone needs to take that flight and start over again, and everyone needs to be nice and to like explore themselves again, and everyone just knows how you feel. Like everyone feels homesick when they're traveling. Even when you're traveling for 5 years, obviously you're gonna feel homesick. So I think you can be more your authentic self. Like you can show your emotions more. Like sometimes here it can be difficult because people are going to judge you. People there are not going to judge you, and if they're going to judge you, you're not going to see them anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I think that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. It's a really different. You also like. I encourage everyone to travel into different countries, because then you see different perspectives of life.
Yeah.
You know, if you just stay in your born country and then just stay there for the rest of your life, I think that's a really missed opportunity about experiencing life itself. You know, like you see different aspects of life and you see different perspectives that maybe will open your mind, or maybe will you're struggling with certain things, and these people over here are not struggling. Just like you said with the cultures that you met in Mexico, they don't need all of this luxury. They don't need all of this Western, let's say, brainwashing mentality of like, you got to go get it. You are the one and only. You have to make it, and this and that. I experienced the same thing with my family in Turkey as well. In here now, you have to make an appointment to visit your neighbor. There, you just like you scream from the balcony, hey, can you give me sugar? And then he's like, why are you screaming? I said, no problem. Can you give me sugar? Okay, sure. And then they lower like a band, and then just with a emmer, just like a bucket, and then it's like a powder, sugar powder in it, and they just lower it, and you pick it up. Thank you, and then they just raise it up back again.
That's so cute.
That is the community of like in Turkey. And every time when it's hot, they just go outside. Every mothers, right, from the neighborhood, they just come together and then just make a table and then just sit outside and drink tea, and kids are playing. That is community. But we in the Western, let's say Western countries, it is lost for some reason.
Yeah, I think we lost the culture thing a little bit, and the family thing. Like we're really focused on making a career, and how does our look like on the outside? How does our life look like on the outside world? Yeah. But honestly, it doesn't matter how your life looks like on the outside world. Like, if I'm posting something on Instagram and I'm on a beach in Mexico, obviously it looks really nice. But do I do it for the Instagram post? No, because I like to be at the beach and I like to catch the sun a little bit, and I like to read, and I like to journal on the beach. Like there's so much more behind it. And a lot of people are forgetting that. We also talked about like the influencer world. I really like influencers, but if you're using it for the good, so you can show like, oh, I have designer bags and I have this and this. On one side, that's really good because you're encouraging people to follow their dreams, because a lot of people that are influencers follow their dreams and they just really believed in themselves. And I think that's really good, and it's really beautiful that they did that. But it's not all real. And you really need to understand that everything you're seeing on the outside part, you're not sure if it's real. Yeah. I think that's maybe the biggest lesson you need to learn. Like, just feel how it feels on the inside, because the only thing people want to be in the end in their life is happy. They want to be happy, and they want to be amazed by all the things they have seen and the things they did. And I would say like travel by yourself, that's like really important, like do a solo trip. But a lot of people just don't like things outside the Netherlands or outside of Europe or outside of their home country. And that's also fine, but just experience the things that you like here. Do nice things here. Like we're here in the park, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know that there was such a beautiful park here in the Netherlands. I'm like a little tourist in my own country, and it's still really beautiful. And I think that's the thing. You need to do what you like, not like, because I'm traveling, not all the people need to travel in the world, because then all the spots are getting touristy, and I don't want that. Just do what you like, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about it. Yeah. And I think we say that a lot of times, like everyone knows it in their heads, but just live like it. Live like it's your last day, literally.
Like I experienced that's amazing what you said, because most people, when you, at least in my case, when I went to, for example, multiple countries, when I traveled on my own, the kid inside me lived for some reason, and I experienced that when I had my surroundings and my friends, and they never like, yeah, why would you travel alone? This is that and this that and all of this blammer and limiting beliefs. But most of them, I experienced like underneath the core reason why they don't go, they have this problem with they cannot experience life with themselves. They cannot enjoy life just by their own. And I was like, what am I going to do? With who? Why don't you go alone, right? Why don't you go just to China, to Shaolin Temple or whatever, Just what am I going to do there? I don't know. Just go. I don't know. You will see, you will see that lots of, when I went to China, for example, it was so just an amazing culture, right? And they have such a different perspectives, and you will learn a lot of things about yourself. But what I experienced, they had a problem with being with themselves. Everything is like on the outside, and that's also pushed in sort of all of them on social media. Everything is outside. Money, fame, and success is outside, but not the inner success, not the inner healing. Because I always hear the success stories of many people. They have everything they want, and I also have one person in my family. Most of the things that he wanted, he had. But when you look at his life, he's always complaining. He's always like, yeah, this is happening in my life. Yeah, this is crazy. He's not. He doesn't look happy. And in my case, I think if you don't fix the inside first, you can achieve the biggest things in life, but you will not become satisfied. Let's say. And if you fix the inside part first, maybe also you realize that the fame and the let's say the success that you thought you wanted is not the real success that you wanted, because what you wanted is love. Mm-hmm. What you wanted is to be looked after, to be seen. But to be seen, you made the blammer and made the limiting belief that I have to be famous to be seen or whatever. So you created all of the success, and afterwards you could never get enough for attention, and then you just got yourself stuck in this loop.
Yes.
That's also what I experienced. So the message is travel.
Conclusion of this.
Yeah.
Just travel.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, what did you experience when you helped your clients for your coaching business? And what are you looking to do in the next 5 years, for example?
Where I help people the most with, we just had a talk about this. I would call myself a freedom coach, because I can give people freedom. I'm not giving people I'm helping people to get their freedom. I'm not doing anything for them. They do it themselves in the end, but I'm just there to support them on all aspects of life. So I can give them freedom in place, so they can go travel, or I give them freedom in their physical pain, because 95% of all the physical pain you experience is coming from emotional pain. And you didn't work on the emotional pain enough or soon enough, and then it's going to be maybe a chronic illness or just a little pain that's always popping up. Just like stress. When I'm stressed, I feel like really a lot of tension in my back and in my shoulders and in my neck. And I know if I'm not going to pay attention to that, I'm going to feel like really shitty in a couple of days, because then I'm going to be like, oh, it hurts so much, and oh, maybe it's chronic, blah, 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 and then it's going to get worse and worse. But if you if you focus on it first, and it's with a lot of things, like it opened a new world for me when I saw that like the physical pain is coming from emotional pain. So you can really work on your physical pain without the pills, without like all the treatments. And I'm not against it, but I think it can complement each other, and you can help each other with it and make the process go faster. So that's also where I'm helping people with. And I'm giving people Reiki healings, so the energy in the body is more flowing, and the positive life energy is not working more in the body. And I also really love to help people with that. And I can combine that in my programs. I have a 3-month program and a 5 weeks program. And in those programs, I'm gonna like get all the things out, because all the things that are not working in your life at the moment are or physical or emotional. Like there's nothing in between that. And if someone has a physical pain, we're going back in the emotions. So we're really healing it on a deeper level. So you don't have to look back anymore and think like, oh, that thing that happened in my life, like traumas, that thing happened in my life and it's really haunting me and I can't get rid of it and I still see it happening, or when I smell something I still feel it. There's no need to feel that. You can overcome that. Oh, eekhoorn. Sorry.
Squirrel.
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 Dat was heel schattig.
He's like, oh, squirrel. That was awesome.
That's also a thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to be too serious. We need to have fun in this podcast. It's not only about I'm sharing all my thoughts and things like that. It's really important. But the squirrel was also really nice.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Like there's so much more around us. Okay, on the side.
So much beauty. The sun is shining in the Netherlands. That's
really nice.
Special occasion, right? That's why we are so happy.
It's really, it is. Yeah, that's where I'm helping people with. Is it clear?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like I also noticed that the feminine, let's say, or the females are more focusing on the emotional side, while the men are more focusing on more the physical.
Yeah.
And the emotional side is also, we forget that a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know, for example, also when I experience also mine coachings in my own brand, I want to implement the emotional side, and I am also implementing, but it doesn't come through that much because the person has to believe it will work, and then it has to be open for the effects that will happen.
Yeah.
And then it will come. If they are not open for it, it's just like, oh yeah, show me what you're gonna show me. Yeah, fix the problem for me and let's see it. You know, that's also what I experienced, at least maybe because I'm also male, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna talk about emotions, you know.
Yeah, I get that. I think it's not only with males, also females are like really skeptical, especially when you say Reiki. A lot of people think, oh, Reiki, that's really spiritual. I don't want that. But honestly, I always start my coaching programs with a Reiki, because I can't decide if you're going to feel the Reiki or not. Your higher self is deciding that. My higher self and your higher self are connecting, and then you can feel it or not. It's not my fault if it's not working. It's not your fault. It's the higher selves. And mostly people that are coming to me are like, okay, I'm kind of into the spiritual world, but I think it's, I don't know, like they're doubting about it. And then I just start with the first Reiki healing, and to be honest, until now, afkloppen, they always felt something. They felt the energy flowing. They felt a change in their body. They felt, before they felt a lot of stress, and after that they were stress-free. And that's like the switch for them, like, okay, there's more, I'm interested in it. And then slowly in the coaching program, you can see that there are more things that you can do with the energy, and that there's more than only the physical part, or only the emotional part, or only the talking. There's so much more. If you're gonna start working with energy, life is gonna get way easier. Like, everything is coming towards you, and you don't have to work hard for things. You just need to switch your mindset. You just need to believe in yourself.
Right. That's just there's always the for example, the NLP that I'm doing, it's always ends up in the mind. When the mind is convinced that it's possible, the body and the spirit will figure out a way. You know, that's what always the human body, the human experience is just, the human being is so powerful. When the mind makes the belief that it is possible, I can invent the light bulb, I can invent how do you call it?
Airplane.
Endless planet. Yeah, I can invent the airplane. I can invent the telephone, you know? The universe will figure out a way to make it happen, you know, to bring it into reality. The mind is such a powerful thing that we overlook all the time. And if you know how to program it or how to prompt it, the possibilities are endless.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. That's but like the life gets you down so many times, and you just get convinced that it is how it is, you know. But as soon as you see that life is just good and the bad, you know, it's like a balance between those two. Yeah,
I think a lot of people forget they have a choice.
Yeah.
Like, you have a choice to feel bad, or you have a choice to feel happy. And that's like really black and white. I get it. Like, sometimes something happens, like maybe someone dies in your family, or something really bad happens to you. But it's your reaction that in the end makes the situation harder or better. Like if you have like a traumatic experience and you're not going to go to a psychologist or a coach, or you're not going to do anything about it, probably it's going to haunt you your whole freaking life.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really hard. But the people that are like really facing their problems and they're really going into the emotions and into the things that are happening, life is getting easy then. A lot of people think life is hard. Life is not hard. We make it hard. That are two different, totally different things.
Yeah.
And I think we don't need to forget that. Like, we can choose for a happy life. Like, I had a lot of things happening in my life and I can cry about it, or I can be like, okay, it taught me something and I can change it into the better. And now, if I didn't experience all those things, I couldn't give coachings right now. And coaching is my life passion, so I really needed it. And I think that's also for other people.
Yeah.
Like, you need to see that it's bringing you something. It's not gonna... the universe doesn't want you to try harder or to change things or things... how do I say that?
The universe is happening for you, not to you.
Yeah, the universe is happening for you, not against you. Against you, and it's also not happening to you. It's happening so you can learn something from it. And if something bad keeps happening, like you see a pattern in it, you definitely need to change yourself. Like, you can be like, oh, my environment is bad and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you stay in that environment. Just move. Search other friends. Go to another job.
Yeah.
Like,
they don't realize it.
No, they don't realize they have a choice. Like, some people are staying in a company for 10 years and they're always coming home like, and I don't like it, and my coworkers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you're still in there, and probably you're also not really a nice person, because otherwise you would have chosen to go somewhere else because you feel comfortable in here. You're just like them, and just see that. And if you choose a different path, like maybe like I did, like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the other side of the world, then you see like, okay, the environment is really influencing me. I need to do something different about my environment. Environment is a really big thing. And people are like, oh, I just keep that friend because he's really nice to me and blah, blah, blah. It's nice that he's nice, but if he's not helping you grow, or just seeing you as the person you are, and you need to change your personality for them to just fit in the friend group, it's not really a friend. It's just a person that you want to hang out with, and you don't want to be alone. You're just scared to be alone.
Yeah.
But to be honest, when I started traveling, I was also really scared to be alone, and now I'm really happy to be alone. Like, it's maybe hard, but I cut off a lot of friends that were not really being a value anymore into my life. And that's not like, oh, they don't call me every day or they don't text me every day, but when I was with them, I couldn't be myself 100%. I couldn't talk about the spiritual things that I really like, or I couldn't talk about the things that I found interesting because they thought it is weird. It's okay, but I don't think we can be friends like that anymore. I don't think we can be connected on a deeper level, and for me that's really important in a friendship. So I think a lot of people also need to think about that.
Yeah. That's I don't know if you heard this model, spiral dynamics.
No?
Spiral dynamics it's called. It's like a model that showcases how people function and how people their mindset is at certain moments in their life. And for example, you have like colors, right? You have like was it beige? Beige is survival, right? Back in the days we had to survive, the cavemen had to like survive, and all of a sudden after that you had like another color. I forgot the color it was like purple, and then you have like colors, and then it goes purple to building communities and building spirits, and then it goes I thought blue, and blue is religion. Then you had like the religious people, and you had like Islam and Christianity. Then it also goes from like individualism, right, like survival, I need to survive, to purple to like building communities because we need each other to survive. Then all of a sudden it goes back to individualism. Oh fuck, this is a moeilijke word. It's a hard word. Anyway, you get the point. Then you have red, for example. Red is like the anger part, like conquering and power and this and that. And then what I'm going with this, if you go all the ladder up to the top, you have turquoise. And turquoise is like a mentality that like everything is abundant, right? Everything is that's like maybe the people who are in turquoise is like Buddha and Jesus. You know, these people they see that life is just a balance between good and bad, and everything is happening in the mind, and when the inner body is like fixed, let's say fixed, in balance, the universe will colorate, will how do you call it? Will reflect that, let's say, and you project the energy that you are whole, that you are knowing, or how do you call it? Not knowing, but knowing.
You attract the energy that you are spreading out in the
Yeah,
world.
yeah, and you know that everything is just life. It's not like good or bad. It is just life, and
Yeah.
everything that you want starts here and here. And those people, they influence so much people, because when you vibrate certain energy,
Yeah.
and you will everybody who is in the lower energies, most of not all of them, but some of them will reflect it, because they don't accept their own energy. But some of them, they want to who want to grow, you will attract them, because they see that you are in this level that they want to be at.
Yeah.
They want to know how you. Yes, this is like a weird energy that you vibrate.
I think an easy example of that is when you're getting out of bed and you feel like shit. Like you're looking out the window, it's raining really hard. You need to get on that bike, and you're gonna be soaked when you're getting in your job, and you don't really like your job. And then the colleague is also complaining. Like it's the whole day is gonna be awful. Like it's gonna go on and on and on. And when you're waking up and you see the sun shining, and you're free, and you're gonna do something nice, maybe you're gonna go to the beach, and you're gonna be with the people you like, and you get to choose it, everything is gonna be really nice. Like nothing really bad is happening. And that's like a small version of it, like day by day. But if you're thinking about that in the bigger picture, if you're vibrating a nice energy, you're gonna attract nice things.
Yeah.
For example, for me, when I was in Mexico, I was in a neighborhood in Puerto Morelos, really nice. And my boyfriend was like, "Why are you in that neighborhood? It's awful. There are shootings there." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I booked a hostel already here, so I paid the money, so I'm gonna stay here." Really stupid, guys, don't do that. But I'm like that. And I choose to stay there, and nothing really bad happened to me. Like all the people were really nice, they were smiling at me, and I'm really odd in Mexico. Like I'm blonde, I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't be worse. But they were all really nice to me. And a week later, in the street where I was walking every day for a week, someone's head cut off. That's really, really bad, guys. That's next level. But it didn't happen to me because I had positive energy. Like obviously also the guy that didn't have a head anymore wasn't there when I was there. But you attract the situations where you're in.
Yeah.
Always when I was somewhere as well in Mexico, I was walking in the street and was like, oh, I hear weird sounds. And I was walking alone, and I was walking to my hostel, and I was like, I don't know, it feels a little bit odd, but I'm just gonna go in the other street. The street next to me, there were shootings. But I just felt like, I don't think that's the place for me. I'm just going to go to another side. And that's like a really big change for me. I believe that if you're radiating positive energy and don't do really stupid things, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like everything is going to be fine. And these are like really big examples. But that's the same with when I started to work on my energy more and deciding in the favor of my energy. Like I really wanted to have a nice energy. So then you need to choose for a nice energy.
Yeah.
Then you don't stay in the same environment. Then you don't stay in the same job. You're just going to change those things. And now I have a really great company and I really love it. And I travel a lot and I attract friends. Like the people that are around me now are amazing. You're just amazing. I can always be myself. I can always call them. They make me happy. They can make me sad. But everything is okay to be there. And I didn't have that for like 20 years. And now I can see, like, if you're spreading the positive energy, people are smiling at you in the street who you don't even know. I have no clue who these people are. But they see me shining and they want to shine too. Yeah. And if you're going to be really negative, a lot of people are also going to look angry at you. They're not going to be like, oh, that person looks angry, I'm gonna be nice to them. Like nobody does that. It's really simple, but you need to keep it simple for yourself.
Yeah, it is like a whole different mindset also. Like when you function in that area, you have to, just like Tony Robbins said, you have to prime yourself to you have to. It is best way to prime yourself every day to stay positive, even if things are going south. It is hard, of course. Life is a balance, but the many times you're in this peak, not peak, but in this high vibrating state, you will attract alike attracts alike, right? Like
Yeah.
you will attract the things in your life that you're vibrating on, just like you said, right?
Yeah.
If things are happening bad for you, then you're like, yeah, my life is shit and this and that. Then you will keep attracting shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
They-
Obviously.
yeah, you will keep attracting it. And it sounds so simplistic, but when you apply it, you will see that all of the things that you thought it was bullshit, that there's actually, it is so simple and in plain sight, but it sounds too simplistic to be true.
Yeah.
And you are programmed in this whole society, in this whole upbringing, and in this whole school system that you have to get an A, or otherwise you're not smart, you know?
Yeah.
That you have to be this type of person, and you have to make this much to be a successful person, you know?
Yeah.
That's, it's so programmed in you, and it is, I know it's hard to, or maybe it could be hard to shift out of that. And sometimes I'm not a saint. I always like fall off, and I always get caught up in certain situations that I think, yeah, I actually should be not in this low vibration, but today I'm just in low vibration.
Today it's just not working
Yeah.
for me.
You will, in my experience, you will have those days, but don't stay in them. You know, they are not you. That is not who you are. That is just a picture. It's just a capture moment, you know?
I think that's the moment when you have the choice.
Yeah.
You have the choice to stay in that vibration, or you choose to go to a different vibration. That's really all about the choices. And obviously we're human. Like, I'm really happy with my life, but I also have moments that I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Or, does this need to happen again? Or do I need to learn something? But see it as a learning moment, not as like, oh, the universe is testing me again and it wants to like get hard on me. The universe doesn't want to get hard on me, on you. They don't really care about you that much. Like, the universe is working for 7 billion people. So the universe is not thinking, oh, I see that person, I'm gonna be really nasty to them. No, that's not how it works. Like, we're not, just don't make yourself too big. Don't make yourself like a god or something. Not everyone is thinking about you. Also not the universe.
Spiral dynamics is a very interesting, just like I said, is an interesting model, and it just reflects on the basic line, what I understand about it, just like we talked about. It is just giving your perspective on life, and just vibrating and just mentally, let's say, rewiring yourself into thinking abundant instead of thinking of lack. And when you think abundantly, when you think, there is a possibility that will happen, I will achieve it, and it is all part of the process. It is not happening against me. That is exactly when you attract, and all of the things that is happening in your life, that is always will colorate in goes the word again, that will just align with your thinking and with your goals, actually. And I experienced it in my first hand every time when I said to myself, okay, I don't know where I'm heading at, just like with the work I'm doing, but I say, okay, I will trust this feeling, even if it goes against my purpose, or not purpose, but against my thinking and the programming from my parents.
Yeah.
Even if it goes against all of the norms that I built up, I will trust this feeling inside of me. And when you do that, then everything aligns with, in a weird way. Nothing goes, let's say, smoothly most of the time. You will experience shit days, you know?
Obviously,
Yeah, that's life, you know? You need a balance, but just trusting the feeling and just going and trusting that intuition. And by the way, how did you learn to connect with your intuition? Because I believe the intuition, maybe you can add your own opinion. I believe intuition is the way to achieve the goals and the ideal, your true passion, your true idealist thing that you want to do in life. And I believe you already made the decision before you came here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you will just follow that path that you laid out for you. And you made that decision, by the way, before you came to this world. That's an ideology that I have.
Yeah.
And the intuition part. How do you follow it? And by the way, when everybody functions on turquoise by spiral dynamics, people will get more conscious of humanity will rise to a more conscious state. And I think we are blaming the world on the system is bad, and the money, everything is getting more and more expensive. I cannot afford anything anymore.
Yeah.
the people are getting pushed to become more conscious about their inner work, so that you have to fix yourself now. Nobody is coming to save you. The Christ consciousness is not the Jesus is coming to the earth one day, but your mindset is becoming Christ consciousness. You are becoming the Christ mentality. I think that is what they are saying with the Bible, when Christ conscious, or the crisis will come one day, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I don't exactly know what was to say, but
Yes.
I think they are talking about everybody's waking up, and everybody is becoming more that turquoise mentality.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah,
We definitely need it.
really.
For me, my intuition, I always was really sensitive, like already as a little kid. And when I was really stressed or something happened in my life, it could be a really tiny thing. I couldn't sleep for like days. Like I was like really stressed, and I was like, oh my God, and that person, and maybe I hurted them. And it was always a really big thing. So I already felt my intuition maybe a little bit too much at that moment. I didn't know how to handle it. And when I got older, I could feel already in a situation when it was going bad, but I was ignoring it. I was just like, oh, but I don't know if this feeling is really right, or I was not even really thinking about that feeling. I felt it, but I was like, but in my mind, it's gonna work. Like, this is gonna work with that friend, or with that boyfriend, or with everything that was happening. I was like, oh, it needs to work because it's in my mind. But your mind can also trick you in that. It's your ego. Your ego is like, oh, but it can be really beautiful, and oh, this is your safe place to stay in the same way. But when I was getting older and older, I was getting almost more sick when I didn't listen to my gut. Like I got headaches, I felt nauseous, I got breakouts on my skin, things like that. I felt it really physical. And then I was like, okay, maybe I need to listen to my gut feeling more. I need to listen more to my intuition. Let's try it with something small. I didn't really remember anymore what it exactly was, but I was like, okay, for me, it's always like I feel it in my stomach. It's just a really weird feeling in my stomach. And I don't know, I just can't really describe it. It's just there. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling it again. Maybe I shouldn't do it this time. Maybe I just don't. And then in the end, I heard from, I think it maybe somewhere where I wanted to go. And I heard from my friends, this happened, there was a fight, and things like that. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it was a good thing that I wasn't there, because it don't sound like a lot of fun. And so I was trying it more and more. And in the end, I was trying it with people. Like, okay, I was talking with a person, and I'm always like, okay, you can have a first impression of someone, but the person is more than only that first impression. But sometimes that also can trick you, because when you're seeing a person, now I'm trained myself that I can see the energy of a person. So when I'm seeing you, I can see that you're having like a bad energy or a positive, negative or positive energy. Like it's not bad, it's negative. So now when I see that, I'm like, okay, I see that there's like a negative energy around that person. It's still gonna be really nice, and I'm not gonna ignore you. I'm still gonna talk with you, but I'm protecting my own energy. I'm not letting your energy in anymore. It's just training, just like trial and error. Like I can tell other persons like, oh, this is how you're gonna get your intuition back. I have no clue what you did to your intuition to get away like that, or that it doesn't show up anymore. I don't know, but I can get you more close to your inner self. And if you're closer to your inner self, your intuition is gonna get bigger, bigger and bigger. Yeah. Now, if I feel something like I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna do a new investment, or I do want to do a new program in my own company, I'm tuning in with that energy. And when my intuition is telling me like, okay, it's not what you need to do, and I still want it, like sometimes my mind is still taking over. I'm like, yeah, but it would be so nice. Yeah. It could be so amazing. It could be an amazing opportunity. And then I'm doing it, and 2 days later I'm sick as hell. And then I'm like, yeah, never mind. The universe is just telling me, no, you're not gonna do this. So I'm not trying even anymore. Like if my feeling says no, it's no. It's just no.
Yeah, I always you said it very very well, because when I experience that same feeling, I just turn my brain off. And then because if I had to make the big decisions, I don't know, man. I just turn my brain off, and there is like this little, in my personal experience, there is this little voice that is saying, actually, this is it. But it is just so small that's just almost ignorable. Just you would say, oh, that's just a thought. No, that's not a thought. That is actually the voice, but you dumbed it down because you have this, the brain is taking over, but your body is actually telling your gut feeling is actually, in my opinion, I think also we learned this also with NLP, I believe that your gut feeling is the intuition part.
Yeah.
The gut feeling is telling you, but you ignore it because it's not. Most of the time, it's not logical.
Yeah.
You will think, oh yeah, this money, just like you said, this opportunity will make me bring me lots of success in my career.
Yeah.
But actually, when you do that, you will sacrifice your time, your energy into something that is not even yours, or your brand will get your brand's name will be owned by some other guy's name,
Yeah.
or whatever, and that is this little voice that we have to connect with, and we have to train ourselves to listen to it.
I also think when I was starting my business, I asked a lot of coaches like, "Oh, how did you build your business? How did you do that?" And I think it's really important to talk with the people you look up to and that they achieved what you want.
Yeah.
But their truth is not your truth. And that's the difference with if you're going quantum jumping and you're going into different dimensions. If you are putting the right energy into what you want to do, like especially on Instagram, a lot of people told me on Instagram, you need to make videos that you're talking and like show your face, and people really get to know you if you're talking to them. But I was like, I don't really want to talk. I just don't like it that way. I don't know why, but it's just not my style. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to try it, but I didn't. I didn't try it. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make the videos that I make right now with like the environment really nice and things like that. Doesn't really matter at the moment, but and I just put the energy in that I think attracts the people that I want to attract. And then you're attracting the people that you want to attract. So if someone is telling you, oh, the only way to grow your Instagram is like by posting reels or by posting
3 times a day.
4 times a day on that hour of the day, and you need to use that hashtags. No, it's the intention that you set. If you're putting an intention in your post, like, okay, I really want to give people value. Like, oh, this is the subject I'm talking about now. I really want to give value to the people. Then those people are going to receive it. And maybe only 10 people needed value from your post. And that's completely fine. You don't need thousands of people always to see your post. Like, obviously, we would like it that thousands of people are like liking it and they want to buy something for us, or they just find us inspirational. But in the end, if you inspire one person, that's really valuable as well. It's about the little things.
Yeah.
You don't have to think that big. You can...
That's always happening in Maastricht as well.
What the fuck?
There is a guy on a bike with a speaker, just going around with loudly just playing music.
At least he's happy.
Yeah, he's
living
happy.
his own life.
He's in his energy.
Yeah. Own vibes. But I think we need to forget that all the standards that other people have. If you believe in something and you're dedicated to it and you're doing it from a positive energy, you want to give other people things. Like, you don't only think it for yourself. Like, if you're going to earn a lot of money, that's really nice. But what are you going to do with it? Are you only going to spend money on yourself? Or are you going to help other people? Are you giving your mom some money? Don't think like from a selfish way. There are so much more ways to go. And I think if you have a positive intention, you're always gonna get there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna get hard, but you're gonna get there in the end.
Yeah. So actually the conclusion, just trying to raise your vibration and keep it there, because there is where magic happens. There is where you achieve the things that you truly desire. Maybe you don't really know what you want at the moment, but it will lead you to the things that you really desire within your core. And you will maybe not understand when you're young and you want to, you are just getting out of college and you don't know what you want, and everybody is asking, what are you going to do what do you want to be in the future? And you don't really know. Just that intuition part is the way that to lead you to your truest purpose, and to listen to it and to train it, and healing all of the blockades that's blocking you to listen to it.
Yeah, agreed.
That's the message. So I think we are coming to a conclusion in this podcast. I really enjoyed it, by the way. Yeah, we should do this more.
Yeah, I'm agreeing on that. Let's do that more.
Oh, this is awesome. This is my first time I recorded outside as well. Like, recorded
I like
just
it outside.
Yeah.
A lot of people looked weird at us.
I need to. Yeah. I didn't even know this.
But to be honest, I think that's really nice, because last thing, when people are looking at you and they're looking a little bit weird at you, you're triggering something in them. They also want to do maybe something like that, and they just want to be like, we just sit here in the middle of a park and we're like, okay, fuck it, we're just gonna record a podcast, and that's completely fine. And other persons are like, oh, what do I need to think about that? It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, they are reflecting their own shortcomings.
Yeah.
we at least admit certain things
Yeah.
that when people are looking at you and throwing rocks at your direction, it always I noticed it always comes lower. You know, it always comes from below, never from on top.
No.
It's always come from below.
No, I think the people where you're looking up to and they already achieved what you have, they would never make fun of you.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, go on. I understand, because for some reason they can understand the struggle.
Yeah,
You
they
know?
already have had it.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Now, thanks for your knowledge and for your wisdom. Hopefully, we will do this once more because I really enjoyed it. It's awesome.
Yes.
Lastly, I want to also ask this question for you. If you you already did it, of course. If you could give a message to your younger self when you had it and when you have the opportunity,
Yeah.
what type of message would you give your, let's say, 16 or 16-year-old Eva?
I would say listen to your gut and
Yeah.
don't listen to advice from people that you that don't have what you want. Just
Yeah.
don't. Only take advice from people what have what you want, and then it's gonna be fine.
Awesome. How can people follow you for more further information?
You can find me on Instagram and on TikTok at Eva van de Wiel. And I also have a website, evavandewiel.com. So you can find me there and you can always send me a DM or you can email me. Feel always free.
Awesome. And my information is on Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube, starwolfunity. That is starwolfunity together. And you will find me there and all of the videos and the content that I upload there. If you want to catch in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram mostly. Thanks for this awesome podcast, Eva.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward for the future, what will brings for our collaboration together.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, please drop a like in this comment. And if you have any further questions or whatever, just ask one of us or in this video below, and see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.